Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and I really pray that you make sure you take enough water with you if you go out, and like Starlight does. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. And you can also give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family, your friends. A rattlesnake and deer. Yes, you could share my videos with a rattlesnake and a deer. And also, don't forget, you could check out my playlist. And don't forget the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. And you can also check me out on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, here we go. Is on this hiking trail. Starlight has never been here before. So here we go. Beep. And isn't this is going to be, look at the mountain here. So anyway, today I've been thinking about this for days, and it's such an important video to make. And so here I'm going to give you a view here of the mountain here. So anyway, today I want to make this video for the safety of kids. And a lot of times they have like commercials or things that they have out on things that you buy at a store, like maybe your prescriptions and things like that, where, you know, have you heard like keep out of reach of children? Well, that is what this video is about today, is keep out of reach of children. And Starlight wants to make this video because I do understand a lot of people who have kids. They might not be really thinking about the things that might not be safe for their children at home. And that could be alcohol or prescriptions or different things like that. And so this video Starlight is making to make sure that you are protecting your kids. And some of you might actually think that, Starlight, my kids are old enough and they know better not to, you know, go get my prescriptions, and they're old enough to know that they shouldn't touch those things in my house or your home. And you know, you might think your kids are old enough to know better, and sometimes they might know a little bit too much, because to let you know, with it doesn't matter what age your child is, because I'm just kind of giving you a view here, and there's a lot of people out here, which is great. So so don't mind me if you're gonna get bushes in your face like this right here. Is so Starlight is making this video is to help you to make sure, you know, that you are protecting your kids. And there are laws out there that were, you know, the families, the parents, you know, especially with certain kind of medications, you know, because Starlight used to work at a nursing home, and there were certain drugs that they were supposed to, you know, you should have all your medication or prescriptions from your doctor. They all should be locked away, you know. And I used to clean for years, and Starlight has been in and out of many families' homes. And what I discovered is that a lot of families had prescriptions in their bathroom where the kids could easily get those prescriptions or medications. So this video is being made to, here we go, is to help you to understand, is even if you think that your kids, they might know, like, yeah, that's not safe for you to be having, you know, they might be well old enough to understand that medications or prescriptions or even alcohol, or some of you might smoke, some of you might drink alcohol, or you might even do other drugs at the home, but you want to make sure that any prescription drugs or medications are picked up in the home so your children do not take any of them. And so, whoops, sorry, I'm getting some bushes here. I got it. So, you might think that they're old enough, but you got to question yourself, are they really old enough? And they might know that, yeah, taking this is not good for me, and it might harm me, and it might hurt me somehow or another. And that is why they might know more than Starlight's going to actually pull off over here real quick so I can do this video. So what I want to say to you is that you have to be mindful of what do you have laying around the house for your kids, you know, and you might think that there's no problem with your children and that you don't have to pick anything up with your kids. And I don't know who you are as a family. I don't know who you are as a parent, you know, whether it's a husband or wife or, you know, a single mom or a single dad. And, you know, I don't know how you're raising up your kids at all, you know, is if there's a lot of changes going on in the home, you know, there's a lot of families, they get divided, you know, there's people that go through divorce. There's people that, you know, they get separated, their kids get separated from their parents. And then you got the public school, you know, where a lot of kids go through a lot of things at the public school. Starlight actually is just going to go down here so I don't have to stand and spot. Is that I just got to watch where I'm walking here because there's a lot of stones and a lot of sand. So you got to understand that even though your kids have been educated on how it is important not to take medications, is if they're going through some hard times in the home or even around your family members, and you might not even know that your kids are going through hard times with family members, and that could be their brothers or sisters, grandpa, grandma. Yeah, just because the name sounds like they're sweet, it doesn't mean that they are, you know. So you got to really protect your children, and, you know, they might already be educated knowing that this stuff, you know, medications are not good for them and prescriptions are not good for them. But, you know, you got to think of the stuff that's going on around them. Are they going through a lot of changes in their life? You know, maybe they're not happy. And what is important when it comes to kids, are you communicating with them? You know, are you there for your kids if they are going through a problem? Are you there actually educating your kids to, you know, help them through their emotional needs that they have? And maybe they're going through stuff, you know, depending on the ages of these kids, you know, they might be, now these days it's hard to say, you know. I started out at a certain time, like getting interested in boys and stuff like that, but these days are a lot different. So kids might be starting to get interested in boys at a very young age, or even interested in girls at a very young age. So you got to be mindful of sorry, Starlight's just looking around here because there's rattlesnakes in different places out here. Is you got to be mindful of, you know, having a communication door open for your kids to communicate. So if they come up to you and they want to talk to you about different things, you really don't want to shut them out. You know, you want to make space for them so they have somebody to go to and to talk to, because they need you, you know, whether you're a single dad or a single mom, is that these children, they need somebody to talk to when they're going through problems, especially when young kids, young teens are going through dating time, you know, where they're dating. And a lot of, you know, like think back when you were young and your first time getting hurt, you know. And so you got to understand with when teenagers start dating, or even younger than teenagers these days, is that they could be going through some hard times, and they might want to end their life, because they can't deal with the pain of what they're dealing with. And so that's why it's so important. No matter, you might think that, yeah, they're old enough to know better, Starlight. Well, you know what? They know better that it's going to cause them harm to take that medication or prescriptions or even do any drugs or alcohol. Is that might be the knowledge and wisdom that they have, that they can use that, to, like to harm themselves, because they know it's not good, and they know it's not safe to use. Is that if you don't have that open door of communication for them, then that would be the time that they can possibly, want to take take things in their own hand by ending their life. So that's why it's so important to be there for your children all the time and make space for them. Sometimes I understand that parents are going to be busy and they're going to be working and they got this going on and that got going on, but you need to, let your child know, like, recognize the signs with your children that something's going wrong. Even if they don't speak to you, it doesn't mean that they're not experiencing something. Now, if everything in the family's going good, but there's things going on at the public school or even churches, is that you got to pay attention to how they're behaving in the house. How are they acting? How are they, are they giving you an attitude? Are they sad? Are they depressed? Are they staying in their bedroom a lot? Are they, not going out and getting exercise? You got to pay attention to these signs. Are they, did they stop seeing their friends? So these are signs. Are they sleeping in later all the time? Maybe that's a sign that they could be going through stuff, and they don't know how to open up. And that's why communication is so important, is to have that window of communication open up, so then your children will be able to speak to you and let you know when they're going through some hard times. And so you need to make sure you communicate with your children and talk to them every day and find out how their day is going. Ask them questions. Hey, how you doing? And you should never be too busy, that you can't take time out to ask your kids how you doing. How are you doing? How are you doing today? And I'm just going to stay on the children thing. And if you see that they respond in not such a good way, this is a good time to speak up and say, hey, maybe you didn't like the way they responded. And, you got to be smart and wise on how to communicate with them and get them to open up, and because you could save their life by being there and, being an ear. And, sometimes that's all they need, is somebody to listen to them, so they can talk and communicate, because they might not know who to turn to. And the parents should be the first people that the kids are going to talk to, but that's not in every case. Sometimes it's the parents that are doing things wrong with the children, why they don't want to talk to the parents. So, if everything is, you never know, because boys and girls go through different things in their homes, and you want to keep that communication open. And I'm going to keep on repeating it, because that is so important to communicate with your kids. There could be something going on in the house that you have no clue of, and especially when you have a husband and a wife, so it's so important to be mindful to communicate with your children and see how their day is going. And, make sure your medication and prescriptions are locked up, so then your kids don't want to use those medications to harm them or to experiment with those drugs. So it's so important that you have those locked up. And yes, it does take a lot of extra time to lock up the medications and prescriptions in the house. But that time that you take those prescriptions and medications and have them locked up where they cannot get into them, you could save a child's life by making sure as an adult that you protect your children by having those things locked up all the time. So, Anyway, Starlight's gonna pull over here a little bit.
The thing is, it was in it wasn't in the most.
I really hope you get a lot of help from this video, and you know, you got to be mindful of where is your medication or the alcohol, you know, alcohol. And, you know, if you got cigarettes laying around, you know, you might have a child that you think is, you know, goody two shoes and won't ever do anything wrong. You'd be surprised what children will do when things are not going really good. They might be tempted because I know when people are feeling low, that's when they go back to the alcohol. When they feel low, that's when they go back to the drugs or smoking cigarettes. When people feel low, you know, when they feel drained and helpless, sorry about that, sorry, Starlight's trying not to have that sun, people might end up going with guys or girls and having meaningless sex, you know, to fill that void that they think is helping them out, which is not helping them out. You know, it's not going to help them out. It actually makes things worse. It doesn't actually help them because then they have a craving for it. And, you know, so it's so important that you be mindful with your kids, no matter what age, you know, starting from when they're babies all the way up until they're teenagers and even older, is that you want to make sure that all the prescriptions, alcohol, you know, any kind of drugs, whether it's legal or not legal, is to have them picked up out of reach of children. It's so important. And, you know, because there's so many kids that go through so much, like I was saying, it could be problems at school. That's why you want to check up, you know, do a checkup on your kids, you know, they have bedrooms, but guess what? It's your job to, you know, go through their stuff. You know, it shouldn't be the children running the house. It should be the parents running the house. It should be the parents that have, you know, there shouldn't be any locks on the kids' doors that they can lock you out, or lock the door so you can't go in their room. So those are rules that, you know, you have to make sure that you're following as a family. To have a happy family is that you should not have any locks where they can lock you out or lock the door so you can't go in. So go through their stuff, search their stuff, check out their writing stuff. What are they writing down? A lot of times kids, when they're going through a lot of horrible stuff, they might journal because the school system teaches them to write stuff down. Write down what you're going through. You'd be surprised what you're going to find in their room that you didn't know about. You know, they might even be talking about you or talking about what they're going through. So don't think that, you know, don't tell your kids that you're too busy, and don't have that excuse that I'm too busy, I can't do all that, Starlight. Well, you're going to regret it later on if your child decides to harm themselves because you didn't take the time out to make sure that you're doing the job to be a parent, to check up on them, be that investigator, check up on their computer. What are they doing on the computer? You know, are they going on YouTube and checking out different things? What are they searching? You know, you got to be ahead of them and not behind, you know, because I love you so much, and you just never know what they're holding inside of them, and they might not know how to communicate or who to talk to. You know, they might feel lonely, they might feel lost, they might feel, you know, they might be going through some kind of abuse that you don't even know about, you know, mentally, physically, or emotionally, or whatever. So take the time out, make sure that you cover everything. And, you know, like, you know, if your intuition says, you know, check that room, check the room. You know, God's going to tell you to check the room. I can't believe some of the stuff I found, you know, when I was a stepmom. Wow, what a surprise, you know. My gut said there's something in this room, and I prayed. I'm like, God, please help me. And it was hidden in the strangest place. So you might have to get really nosy and really snoop through everything in their room, because they might hide it, because they might think, you know, their intuition might be thinking, yeah, hide that, you know, so nobody can find this. So you might have to really search, you know, not just on the, you know, on top of the desk or on the computer. You might have to kind of really get nosy and, you know, try not to let your children know you're doing this, but you have every right as a parent, you know. they shouldn't get upset with you if you're snooping in their room, because if they don't have anything to hide, why would they get upset, right? So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight, and you could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And also, don't forget, you could share, whoops, sorry. You could share this video with your family or friends, a raccoon and a beaver. And also, don't forget the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. And you can check out my playlist. Plus, don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. And I don't know your kids, but I love all the kids. So do your job as a parent and make sure you take those extra steps to making sure that everything is picked up, you know, with the alcohol or the drugs or cigarettes or medications or prescriptions or whatever that could harm your kids. Even, you know, different things I know is very hard. You know, guns, you know, should be always locked up, no matter, you know, you think, oh, they know better not to play with my gun. Well, you know what? If their emotions are overtaking them and they're going through a stressful time, they're not going to listen to any of the rules that you have set. That's why it's so important to have everything locked up, you know, and not to let them know where the key is. So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.